Greetings, April 21st, 2014. I'm with the drawing I consider to be the most important of all the drawings I've done during 7 teaching trips to Israel between 1999 and 2011. This one's called E.Jerusalem Mosaic. It's pencil and India ink on a coffee-stained drawing paper. I did it over at least 3 to 5 days of either drawing from the terrace of the Scottish guest house, from the roof of the Scottish guest house, which I had access to, and walks around the old city. So I just read all my notes at the bottom, and they're so interesting I decided to read them aloud for the benefit of viewers who may view this on YouTube, wherever they may be. And then I'll do some close-ups of the drawing itself. And I'm just going to hold the camera over whatever section while I'm reading here. 3 p.m., May 14th. 3 ultra-Orthodox men come to look from Yerushalayim. That's Jerusalem. One asks, "You sell?" I reply, "I hope so." They don't understand. I add, "I wish." One smiles shyly and nods approval. Earlier, 8 or 9 Arab boys came over, eventually had great fun throwing leaves and cigarette butts on me till I packed up, sigh. That was when I was on the second day of drawing this old stone wall, which has the beautiful like kind of metal fence gate doorway here. Next to it was this old weathered United Nations sign. I'm not sure, RWA, Refugee Relief Works Administration, something of that sort. I don't recall. This might have been part of the stone area there next to where the arch and the metal entry is. Let's see, 14th of May. Oh, let me backtrack. 13th of May. How much more stimulation can I absorb? Mercy me. There are now 12 sheep grazing below me. 4 middle-aged women walk by slowly within arm's reach. Speaking Greek, I think. One wears a nun's habit, albeit unlike any I've seen before. On the long path below me, dirt, a riderless horse galloped back and forth for several minutes, evidently enjoying a brief, near total freedom. Excuse me. A short while later, the nun and her friends are several hundred feet below me. This must have been when I was drawing the tomb here, which I'll get to in a different note here. Several hundred feet below me, on the dusty paved road at the bottom of the valley, above which is the Jewish cemetery, praying. Praying ultra-Orthodox, evidently, are seen. Zachariah's tomb. In one of the previous films I did this, I mistakenly called it Ezekiel's tomb. It was Zachariah's tomb. Okay, May 14th. 3 soldiers leap the wall behind me. I thought to patrol, but I glanced back a moment later, and they're each, quote-unquote, taking a slash, as the British say. What else do we have here? Then, this is a different entry, then 2 soldiers, men with kippot, that's like skull caps, yarmulkes in Yiddish, come over and blah-de-blah in Hebrew. I say, English. One says to the other, Inglit, he asks. Soldiers? I say, none here. They go off looking for their platoon. 2:30 p.m., May 13th, while drawing. 2 young ultra-Orthodox men stop and ask me for directions. I don't know. One speaks English, a bit. He says, "Where are you from?" "Seattle." He looks quizzical. I ask, "Do you know where California is?" He says, "Yes." I say, "It's north of California, but south of British Columbia, Canada." He says, "I'm from New York." I assume he and his yeshiva pal are Mamelution speakers only. I'm referring to the to Yiddish. They may be New York landsmen Jews, but their English knowledge was severely not fluent. There's another one here, May 13th, '07. Decided to not sit on stone wall, semicolon. Small red ants, black ants, and a spider inspect my tuchus and drawing, period. An Arab boy walks by and says, Salam Aleikum, and I reply in kind. And then my next entry is, are these snake holes right by? Oi! Exclamation. So one has to be careful where one sits on the ground in Israel and Palestine. Not just snakes, but I know there's like nasty scorpions, among other things. They even mentioned scorpions in the old 1950s Cecil B. DeMille Ten Commandments movie. So here we don't have Technicolor, we have Akiva Rama color, and so Zachariah's tomb here. This section here and this along here were drawn in a park that's between where the Scottish Guest House, British Consulate, and Menachem Begin Center are located, each of the three in proximity to each other, and where the old wall, where there's this drive going around the old walled city. I remember this specifically. I think this might have been one of the last sections I drew. And so proceeding over to that drive which goes around the city, where I've done drawings of plants and trees, also on the same trip, which are viewable in other YouTube films, is this mosque and minaret somewhere along that walkway, as if you're heading towards the two-tiered leveled Christian cemetery. In the lower level is where Oskar Schindler is buried, and a whole lot of Polish people who died in and around the World War II years. The upper level is a Christian Arab cemetery. And then if you continue in that walk around, you'll reach an entryway to the western wall, and then the Jewish cemetery where Zachariah's tomb is here. I forget the name of the cemetery, although it's very famous, Valley of the something. This church is in the in the old walled city and viewable from the Scottish Guest House Terrace. Liberty Bell Park is right near there, which is where Montefiore Windmill is, where I have two depictions of that here. This building and this building also viewable from the terrace, Old Walled City. I believe they're churches or church related. These construction cranes and such, and kind of rooftops and spires and so on, I believe I drew from the roof of the Scottish Guest House, which is like a story or two higher up than the terrace. This again is where the facing Arab East Jerusalem, at least one side of it, where the boys had thrown the dirt at me, and where the United Nations sign is. We have one bird here, and we're at 9 minutes 13 seconds. I'm just going to do a slow view around and stop at 10 minutes exactly on the clock. This drawing really belongs in a museum collection, properly matted and framed and displayed. Most works on paper museum collections are just housed, shelved in cabinets, however. So we shall see. There you have it. 10 minutes on the nose, on the noggin.